Hi, I'm Dana, and this is a bit of a different video today because I like my content to have a point. So it needs to be about a topic, it needs to be something I think is important to talk about, it needs to be something that can be a discussion around. But making those videos means that I share a lot about like my past experiences in my life anyway, and then that encourages you guys to like actually start the discussion I'm looking for, and therefore also tell me about your lives. So it feels kind of unfair to not at some point make a video talking about like where I'm at and how things are going. You know, it sort of just feels like something I should do, something you guys might enjoy. I'm not saying it's like something I should do as in like I hate this and I'm doing it because I feel an immense amount of pressure. Just in like, I didn't really expect to build a community that talks to each other and to me in the way that we do. I haven't replied to comments in ages because they scare me. I'm really sorry, it makes me anxious. I am going to at some point actually start answering comments again because I do read every single one. And I love the comments that you guys leave, but I massively struggle with actually replying. So it feels like the right thing to do and something I can enjoy to sort of make a video and tell you guys where I'm at, and something you guys might enjoy too. You're not going to enjoy it, it's actually kind of, most of it's not great, but I like to keep a cheery disposition. So for anyone that doesn't know, this year's been the worst of my entire life. It's been an absolute ride. So the update, the thing that I've been having to tell all the different mental health professionals I've been talking to lately. So in January, my mum was diagnosed with 2 types of cancer. There's a video about that. I wouldn't go back and watch it. It's horrifically depressing. And then in February, I broke up with my long-term boyfriend of 8 years because I realised I'm gay. And then in March, I also turned 25. And then in April, I cut off all contact with my mum. We haven't spoken about that on here yet, but I'm sure we'll go into that at some point, and I'm going to touch on it in this. But yeah, those first couple of months of the year really threw me through a loop. They've been absolutely... I haven't processed it in the slightest. I really haven't processed it, and I kind of feel like I'm never going to be able to. It's been horrible. And I've also been back and forth from the doctors because I've now had to sign up for universal credit because I don't have a boyfriend to pay for my shit, so I can legally claim money now, because before it was just, oh well, he can take care of you then. I've got a lot of opinions on that I don't want to go into because I'm being given money for free, so it feels a bit rude to start shitting on it. But that means that I've been going back and forth from the doctors to get sick notes because I'm so cripplingly anxious that I can barely make it to the job centre once a week, never mind do a job. And the more I've told them like what I'm dealing with and how I feel, the more I've been told to speak to other people. And that's been tough. It's been tough having all these different appointments. Like, it hasn't even been that many. It's been like 4, 5, maybe 6. It's not even been that many, but it's felt like so many because it just feels like I'm back and forth all the time. And I also ended up changing the doctor's surgery I was with. This is such a boring life update, I'm sorry. But they kept diagnosing my mum with UTIs, and then it turned out she had 2 types of cancer. So I sort of stopped trusting them all that much. And yeah, so I switched doctors. So I've got a new doctors, and that's why they're like actually suddenly taking me seriously. So like the 5 years that I've spent going back and forth with the other doctor surgery were basically pointless. And I'm quite resentful and bitter over it, to be honest with you. Because I was offered like no help from them at any point. I just about managed to like scrape an autism diagnosis through them after like, you know, really having to speak to people and convince people that I might be autistic. It was kind of humiliating. And yeah, other than that, they just misdiagnosed my mother with something not serious when she had 2 types of cancer and a brain tumour. So fuck those, fuck them, fuck it. I also quite recently sorted out my bedroom because obviously I've been with a man for 8 years and we shared a room, and it was increasingly just making me feel horrifically uncomfortable. So I finally have my own bedroom, and in some ways it's really weird, and sometimes I feel very lonely even though I'm literally in the same house as my ex, and other times I absolutely love it, and it's such like a safe space that I've really made my own, because I just didn't bother when I was in my relationship with a man because I wasn't very comfortable in it and I didn't want to make the bedroom a safe space, okay? Let's not go into that. But more recently, like very recently, as of this morning, I have a new therapist. I saw it get shared in someone's story on Instagram, and they were doing like affordable therapy sessions. affordable therapy sessions for £25, and I was like, yeah, I can actually afford that, like, damn, okay. So I messaged her, ghosted her for a while because therapy does kind of scare me a little bit, and then got back in touch with her. So I had my little like preliminary appointment this morning to see if we're a mesh, to see if she can actually fix me. No, just to see if like a good match and if she actually thinks she can help. And I feel really positive about it. I feel really good about it. Because like I'd had a scan of her Instagram and I generally liked the look of them. But I didn't know until this meeting that like she's also autistic, and it just, that immediately like put me so much more at ease, because I was like, oh, you're not gonna tell me I'm not just because I'm smiling and she understands what masking is and what stimming is. And it's so nice to not have to like stop halfway through and explain like, oh well, I'm autistic so my brain works like this and this happens and then I do this and then this feels like this. You know, she just gets it. And I'm absolutely amazed and blown away and a little bit freaked out that like just the first therapist that I decided to contact who does therapy sessions that I can properly actually afford also happens to be autistic, which is realistically exactly what I was looking for, but didn't think I'd be able to afford. So I feel very good about that. We're going to be meeting, I mean, we're not meeting, she lives in Scotland, we're going to be Zooming every 2 weeks, which I really like the sound of, because my old therapy was every single week. And sometimes I felt like it was really good because it felt like I was like getting through things quickly, but other times I definitely felt like I needed more time to process, or like sometimes I was like, you know, it feels like I spoke to you like 2 days ago. I know it has been a week, but it feels like it was yesterday. So I just feel like I'm actually finding what I was looking for there, and I feel really good and positive about that. They're all the big things, so I'm gonna have a chat about some of the little things, because one thing that was really exciting was that I went to Pride with my girlfriend. I've been to Pride before and not enjoyed it. I've always gone with friends or people that I've only just met that would later be friends for a bit and then not be. And I just never had a great time. I never saw I didn't see the parade this time, we missed it, but we missed it because we were having fun with one of her friends and having a little drink. So I'm not upset that I missed the parade. And I mean, we didn't even spend all that long at Pride. It was kind of mostly really overwhelming and really loud and a lot. But from what I did spend there, it was so validating and affirming to just see so many people just being themselves, you know, as normal or as weird or as out there or non-conforming or as conforming as they might be. They were just being 100% themselves, and it was beautiful to see, and I felt so good about like everyone around me and myself, and it was a really good time. It was really nice. I've considered myself part of the LGBTQ plus community since I was a teenager, so I've always been like, yeah, we need Pride, Pride's a great thing. But I think this was the first year that I really like deeply felt like how important Pride is. And I really hope that next year I can get like a bit of courage up and maybe actually like party it up. We're getting bold, I don't want to go too much into that. I have a dream of being super gay and just going partying on Pride, but whether it ever happens, we'll see. It's probably gonna have to end now. Well, I'm looking out the window because the weather's fucking grim, but on some of these sunny days that we've been having, I've been taking myself out for little coffee dates, and I've really shocked myself in how much I've enjoyed it. If you follow me on Instagram, which will be linked down below, you'll have seen my stories from on the days. But yeah, I've just been going out and getting myself a little iced coffee and finding somewhere to sit just to like read or listen to music or whatever I feel like, just being outside and around people and making an order on my own, going in somewhere new on my own. It's one of those things that I am actually kind of really proud of, because it does really freak me out to go into a new place and order with this like new person on my own. And all too often I've got every right to, because they screw up my order, or like it's really awkward because I'm like, I'd like a vanilla soy latte, and they're like, oh, what? And I don't like it. It makes me anxious. But I've been doing it anyway. And then I get to feel really proud of myself for taking myself off to relax. And I think some of it is that, like, I've done something that scares me. I've done something really out of my comfort zone and something that I don't enjoy. So it feels like I'm allowed to then relax for a little while. It feels like I've earned my rest, which isn't a good way of going about things, I know. Like, rest does not have to be earned, but I feel like I have to earn it. So it's only when I've had like a productive day, and again, it feels like I've earned it extra by going and doing something scary, like buying myself a coffee. However, it does also mean that I've actually picked up reading again, because I was a voracious reader in my teen years. I read constantly. I probably read close to like 70 or 80 books a year. Like, I absolutely just read and read and read and read, and I loved it. And once I turned maybe like 17, 18, I really fell off it because I didn't really know what to read anymore. I think I might make a whole video about this, so I don't want to go super in detail, but the switch from young adult fiction to what do I read as an adult was really difficult for me, and I sort of just dropped off completely. But I have recently read two whole books. I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which I'm sure everyone here has heard about. And as someone currently dealing with that mama trauma, I was like, yeah, let's give that a read. I was illegal. I found a PDF. It was expensive and sold out, and I couldn't afford it even if it wasn't sold out, but I really wanted to read it. I wouldn't encourage others to do the same, but you could. And the other book that I read was Blood, Milk, Heat. Oh god, it's so bad that I can't remember. It's here. Wait, actually, yeah, it's here. It's here. It's Milk, Blood, Heat by Dantiel W. Monitz. And I'd read the blurb and thought it sounded interesting. And then I always do a little flick through. I noticed on this front page that it says Dantiel W. Monitz is a National Book Foundation's 5 Under 35 honoree, the recipient of the Alice Hoffman Prize for Fiction, and Alice Hoffman wrote my all-time favourite book, The Story Sisters, so that confirmed it for me, and I was like, yeah, I'll just grab this and go off for my little iced coffee. And I got to sip my coffee and read my book for 5 minutes before it started raining. But I went back to my girlfriend's and I finished this in a day, because it's lots of short stories, and they're just incredibly good. They're really good. The characters are really, like, they're filled with personality, you know, like they feel like real people. It doesn't feel like you're reading a fictional story about someone. They feel like real people. I think I mentioned a while ago, but it was a couple of months ago now, but I read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath as well, and I massively enjoyed that too. I've been really I think that's my thing at the minute. I need just like strong voiced female writers. That's what gets me back into reading currently. Maybe that's my like niche as an adult reader, but I don't really know how to find them, you know. And especially like I was on the cusp of buying something like I was on the cusp of buying a book by Florence Pugh until my girlfriend was like, she didn't write it though. So I just don't know what to read. If you have any recommendations, please do give them to me. I've been really enjoying it lately. And finally, before I bugger off, the other like little thing I've been doing is getting back into art. Because it's a good little thing to make myself feel better, because obviously with everything else going on, I keep having proper dodgy days. And doing a little bit of art's just been helping me out. I really enjoy it. I feel like I have gotten a little bit better. I'm never going to be an artist, I don't think. I'd love to be. I really would love to just like paint some shit for a living. But I don't think I'm at that point. I don't think anyone would buy it. I don't think it's going to happen, you know. It's just one of those truths of life. But yeah, I've been really enjoying doing art. I might have done a video. I might have done a stamp video. I don't know. I'm going to edit it and see if it's good enough to count as a real video. So you might have seen that. You might not ever see it. And I've also got a screen printing kit that I'm going to give a go. So that might be a video too at some point. This is so bad, but I had one other big life thing happen. And that is my nan died. And it was really awkward because my cousin messaged me being like, are you coming to the funeral? And I had to just be like, yeah, what funeral? And then she was like, oh, nan died a few days ago. And it's really weird because I haven't seen my nan in a long time. It's been like literally years, and she wasn't my favourite person, I won't lie. Like, I know there's this whole like you're supposed to not speak ill of the dead and everything, but I think people are very complex and nuanced, and I don't see why someone dying should mean that I'm suddenly their best friend and loved them, you know? I don't get it. So I have a lot of mixed feelings about that because I do. Because I wasn't close with her, because she wasn't very nice to me a lot of the time. I've got a lot of mixed feelings and it's really weird, but I'm just not involving myself with any of the family. I've kind of just cut the whole lot off. No one's tried to contact me other than my cousin because my nan died, so I don't think anyone's really that bothered that I've cut them off. It's the sad truth of things. That's just how it be. And it's sad because everyone wants a family and everything, but I've also very much settled with the fact that I want a family that makes me feel good. I want a family that supports me. I want a family that like acts like a family, and I don't feel like mine did. So gonna try and like build my own, gonna try and get close with good people and make friends and see what I can figure out for myself, I guess. It is a bit heavy and deep and big though, so lots of ups and downs. Life's a roller coaster. I want to get off. Please do like and subscribe if you've listened this far. God knows who has. That sounds mean. I didn't mean it like that. Just, I really appreciate if you have watched this far, but I really struggle to see how you could find me interesting enough to watch this far, you know? Like, I just don't have a good opinion of myself, and that's why we're getting a therapist. But yeah, I feel like I can work on things from here. I feel like things are gonna get better. And that's kind of what this video is. It's kind of like the bookend, I suppose, of like things are gonna get better from here, I think, for me. I don't think things are gonna be so crappy. I don't think things are gonna be quite so hard. And if they are, I think I'll be able to cope with them a bit better, because I've cried a lot in the last few months. I think I've cried more in the last few months than I have in the entire rest of my life. I've never been much of a crier. And these last few months I've been an absolute crybaby. Nothing wrong with that, like. I think it's very healthy and good to cry. It's just very out of the norm for me, so it's a bit okay. But yeah, I already asked you to like and subscribe, so I hope you've done that. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for sticking around and listening to me and sharing your life if you do comment or not. Even if you don't comment, thank you for watching and being here. It's really blows my mind that I've managed to get this little community going, and I really, really love it. I really appreciate and enjoy the support that you offer me and the stories that you share and the discussions that we have, and I don't want it to stop. Like, that's why I want to get back to answering comments, is to like continue all of that, but it's just hard. It's really hard. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this video because it's gotten long and my mouth is dry and I want to go. So whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a few days.